Now, coming up, the bid to save Geronimo the alpaca has failed after a High Court ruling stated that the animal should be euthanized. I can't bear it. More in a bit, but first, let's get the weather.
Who wrote that?
I'm not looking at that bit.
Who wrote... Oh, we'll be back in a moment while I sort this out.
Yeah.
Who wrote that? Now, welcome back. You're watching The Great British Breakfast. It is coming up to 7 o'clock. The owner of Geronimo, the alpaca, said she will obstruct anyone who comes onto her farm to kill him after losing a High Court battle.
Lovers, purely because the story's been out there and almost it's been humanised.
Nobody would want to do this.
Exactly.
But there is a very
But do let
clear
us
reason.
know at Farmers GB Views. Headlines coming up for you.
United States.
Well, our reporter Amelia Harper's outside the Afghan embassy in London for us. Hi there again, Amelia. Just tell us the latest and what you know on this situation in Afghanistan. OK, well, yesterday Parliament was, as we know, recalled from summer recess to debate the ongoing situation in Afghanistan. The Prime Minister...
Fair not to just show you a bit of what he had to say. Let's just show that. Look at what else is going on today, and people who are double jabbed are still protected against the Delta variant, first identified in India and now dominant here.
Job in the second half of your career may help to stave off dementia. New research has revealed that doctors and chief executives could be 23% less likely than those who have roles such as... Is 17, in fact. Coming up, we'll be getting reactions from local authorities following an announcement of a resettlement scheme for Afghan refugees. Here's the weather first with Aidan. Main story now, Hayat Yaqubi is a Hazara activist joining us from Wolverhampton. Now, Hayat, good morning to you. Let's just, firstly, what's your reaction to what is going on in Afghanistan at the moment?
Well, let's pick up on that because the UK government's announced a resettlement scheme for 20,000 of those in need of refuge, and local councils in the northeast of England have vowed to provide a safer future for Afghan families in crisis. Let's go to our reporter Rachel Sweeney, who's live.
Coming up, we'll be continuing our coverage of the Afghanistan crisis and also looking at the number of refugees the UK will be taking, that and the other headlines of the day as well. Welcome back to the Great British Breakfast. Sorry about that. Were you going to do the welcome?
I was, that was about, but that's all right. You always go in first.
OK. No, I'm not.
Now, President Joe Biden, he's been continuing to defend his handling of his country's withdrawal from Afghanistan. He's come under fierce criticism of...
And crisis. Let's hear what he had to say.
It's a terrible... former President, of course, Donald Trump, following on from Joe Biden, both appearing on television last night. Well, let's have a look at what else is going on today. And people who are double jabbed are still protected against the Delta variant.
Yeah, and let's just bring you some breaking news in the last few minutes. The Taliban, in fact, who are, as we know, using social media, they've tweeted. They said this.
Let's just wait and see. Already some reports, very distressing reports, coming out from Afghanistan about Taliban, what they're doing in the crackdown in areas outside Kabul, where, of course, the world's media has shone a complete spotlight on what's going on at the moment. But any more on that, we'll bring it straight to you.
OK, to some other news now. And yesterday, a British man was jailed in Singapore for 6 weeks after refusing to wear a mask on multiple occasions. Benjamin Glynn's been found guilty on 4 counts of refusing to wear a mask, including at a court appearance in July. Singapore's implemented some of the strictest coronavirus regulations, with everyone over 6 legally obliged to wear a mask outside of the home.
Adam Hancock, freelance journalist working in Singapore, is with us now to give us the latest. And Singapore, clearly, very strict on its COVID rules.
Yes, absolutely.
Hello, very good morning to you. It's 9 minutes to 8. You're watching The Great British Breakfast with Kirsty Gallacher and me, Simon McCoy.
Now, health experts are urging the government to impose restrictions on child-friendly food packaging. This is as a result of misleading claims on yoghurt packs, which are high in sugar.
Well, Dr. Kautha Hashim, registered nutritionist and campaign lead at Action on Sugar, joins us now. Thank you very much for your time. And nice to see you this morning. Now, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex believe the royal family did not take accountability after making explosive allegations against them in their Oprah Winfrey interview. Yesterday about them...
And you know it. And there we are.
There we are.
It's a big headline,
Blame of thrones.
And it is, yeah, swipe at Queen over recollections may vary. Charles and Wills must own their part in the feud. That is the front cover of today's Sun.
The source close to Harry and Meghan talking to someone who's written their biography.
Say no more? I think you shouldn't. Let's move on to another subject. I mean...
The Duke and Duchess of Montecito.
Oh, gosh, you've said it now. I mean, you know, it's another day for you. Another day for you in the press.
Yes.
Brilliant. Right, let's talk about Geronimo.
What was I, bitter and twisted yesterday? I wonder what I'll be today.
Geronimo, the alpaca, said she will obstruct anyone who comes onto her farm to euthanize him after losing that High Court battle. The
Been in touch, but of course they're really busy at 6 o'clock in the morning.
I was going to say, I mean, they haven't got time to be...
Yeah, asking farmers to text in and first thing in the morning is probably a silly thing to do. they're the only people who are much up before we are.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, yeah, but much earlier.
But there is that point that, of course, for farmers, bovine tuberculosis is a massive issue, and they have had to put thousands of their animals down as a result. We spend as a country hundreds of millions of pounds trying to keep bovine tuberculosis at bay, and whilst inevitably Brits and animals, we pick a... We're told you've got 45 seconds to talk about something. Would you rather we talked about Geronimo or the Duke and Duchess of Sussex?
Or yoghurts.
Or yoghurts.
No,
yeah.
Seriously, no.
One of those three has culture.
Yeah. Now, let us know what you'd like us to talk about.
I'm going to be in trouble again. I'm going to be in trouble again.
I tell you what, you're in big trouble. Good week for you. I'm glad it's the weekend. It's our last day here until Monday. Until
forever. Yeah, possibly. It's all gone really well. It could be better in the next hour. You'll find out in just a moment, because we'll be back with the latest news here on the Great British Breakfast very shortly with Kirsty and Simon.
Coming up at 8 o'clock.
Very good morning. Let's return to that breaking news. The Taliban tweeting in the last hour they have declared free in London.
Right, well, British Ambassador Sir Laurie Bristow in Kabul says the embassy has managed to get around 700 people out of the city. Let's hear what he had to say.
Up and letting the Taliban win. Well, the chair of the Foreign Affairs Select Committee, Tom Tugendhat, we spoke to him on Monday. Well, he served in the British Armed Forces alongside the Afghan army. He hit back at the United States president, and this is how he did it.
Joe Biden. Well, Biden continues to defend his handling of his country's withdrawal from Afghanistan. He come under...
Well, the former US President, Donald Trump, was speaking to Fox News last night about this crisis.
It's a terrible...
Jabbed are still protected against the Delta variant, first identified in India and now dominant in the extreme heat wave in Europe's continuing to wreak havoc as wildfires sweep across the continent. Is the packaging on sugary yogurts misleading parents? That's the big question. We'll have more on that in the next few moments for you. We've got the weather first.
Hello. If you're watching the Great British Breakfast with the great Kirsty Gallacher and the less great Simon McCoy.
Oh, dear. Right, regroup.
That's way too late.
Yeah.
Anyway,
right.
let's return to Afghanistan's situation there. Of course, yesterday, Parliament was recalled from its summer recess to debate the ongoing situation in Afghanistan. The Prime Minister... So where are we at the moment with this, Tom? In fact, where's Tom? There he is.
That we saw.
Let's talk to Colonel Richard Kemp, former commander of British troops in Afghanistan.
OK. Sombering, isn't it? Coming up, the UK government announcing a resettlement scheme for Afghans in need of refuge, while local councils also northeast of England have vowed to provide a safer future for Afghan families in crisis. We're going to have more on that for you very shortly.
Just after 20 to 9, you're watching the Great British Breakfast with Kirsty and Simon. A very good morning to you. Now, as thousands flee Afghanistan following that Taliban takeover and the UK government announcing a resettlement scheme for those in need of refuge, local councils in the northeast of England have vowed to provide a safer future for Afghan families in crisis. OK, well, the UK government's announced a resettlement scheme for 20,000 of those in need of refuge. Local councils in the northeast providing a safer future. They want to do that. Let's get to our reporter, Rachel Sweeney, live for us outside Durham County Hall for us, home of the County Council. Good morning to you, Rachel. What's been... yesterday, our digital producer, Gareth Milner, he spoke to Rafi, an Afghan interpreter who held British forces in Afghanistan from 2006 right up until 2011. He's been campaigning for the rights of Afghanistan interpreters for a number of years and organised yesterday's protests in Parliament Square to call on the government to welcome more refugees. This is what he had to say.
My name is...
Helped British forces in Afghanistan a while back. He's been campaigning, in fact, for the rights of Afghanistan interpreters for a number of years.
You're watching the Great British Breakfast from GB News with Kirsty and Simon. It is now 10 to 9. People who are double jabbed are still protected against the Delta variant, first identified in India and now dominant here in the UK.
Let's get more on this now. We're joined by Professor. Coming up, it is To the Point with the duo of Patrick Christys and Mercy Moroki. But first, the weather. We'll see you on Monday.
Bye.
Hello.